Our city benefits from a unique proportion of immigrants in Tennessee, both culturally and economically. In fact, Hamblen County has the second highest proportion of immigrants in East Tennessee. In 2018, the largest single workplace raid in the country in a decade was conducting a neighboring bean station at the southeastern province meat facility, so devastating to the local community that a Netflix documentary was produced for it. An estimated 83 workers were detained in the National Guard Center. The next day, over 500 Hispanic students in Hamlin County didn't attend school over fears of detain being detained and deportation. Uh, Gary Chesney,
Chesney. Yeah.
yeah, okay, uh, uh, responded saying it involves more focus than things land in our lap. There are many who've hollered that we want illegal immigrants gone. At the same time, we don't think children need to go to bed afraid. I'm not sure if the mayor was capable of hearing the hollering of the families. Not more than 2 months later, the Tennessee legislature passed a law banning sanctuary cities in our state. The situation isn't great, and is if there is anything that you could work towards to make sure that our immigration policy or our immigrant population uh, would be they documented or not feel safe calling 911 in an emergency and ensure that undocumented families are safe to seek citizenship and future and a future in Morristown. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Great question. Great research on that too. Bringing up the good points. The fundamental issue with this is the process to citizenship. That's the fundamental issue. Obviously, we can't fix that here in the city. That's a federal thing. But if we make citizenship more attainable and more easily attainable, then we don't have that problem. It's not. I dare say most people are not like, haha, I'm gonna sneak over the border and I'm going to stay illegally because I feel like it.
Yeah.
They're seeking better opportunities for themselves and their families and their lives. And if they are and have such a passion to do so and want that type of life for themselves, and they're out here working, like it's not like they're stealing things, and they raided a place of employment. So um, we we as a nation need to figure out the right path to citizenship so that people can come and be a part of this country and then maybe actually take part in things like this and feel more like it's their community because they might want to stay here. They might not want to come for 6 months and then run back. They might want to restart, and maybe they're leaving a terrible situation. So I think it's difficult to answer at the city level because obviously the city didn't really have anything to do with that raid, or there's nothing that we could do with a federal agency kicking in doors and taking people. That, like, we don't have that authority and that jurisdiction to do anything with that. So the big picture is nationally, we have got to figure out the right path to citizenship, so that more people will actually try to do that, and that is going to further benefit our country. Not It's going to further benefit those people, but it's going to benefit our country as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, my cousin is actually an elementary school teacher, and after the raid, there were a lot of Hispanic students that didn't have a way to get home because their parents were detained. Is there any sort of help that we could give to those students or those young people if a raid were to happen again like this?
Hmm. I mean, I think it's going to have to come back to the community, supporting the community, and I think the best answer is don't try to detain people that are victimless crimes, you know, again.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's the real answer. But again, we can't step on ICE's toes or anything, of course.
Mhm.
So if something like that happened again, I would hope that the community will come together, you know, churches, nonprofits, families, just whatever. Like, people would come together and unite together as a city and as a community and say, look, these are our people and we're going to take care of them. You know, to say, yeah, I understand that this happened, but we don't want the children to go. Who do you think's raising these children? You know, you can't have children in homes taking care of themselves. I worked for DCS too long to know that that's an issue. So we need to make sure that if you say you support the family and you're about families, then you got to support the whole family.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that same cousin that I have, their school had like a little. They gave like the children like resources, and they let them stay in the gymnasium for a couple of nights until they could get
Well, it sounds like
relocated
the
somewhere
school
else.
stepped
So
in where they needed to
there's
and tried to fill that
yeah,
gap. So
yeah,